Hey, it's me again. You know, that guide of light to help you through the night. So, I was sitting here working on something and I realized I've always been non-committal. I thought people were cheating and lying and all these other things to me, and it kind of broke my heart. And then I was like, you do certain things though, Sheena. You get into a relationship and then meet someone else and you're like, well, they could be interesting. And it just slam one door, open another, slam open. And always looking for something. I have no clue what I was looking for. I was young, hopeful. Sorry, I have a hair. And wanting to, at that point, feel fulfilled, and never considering I'm not committing fully. And I'm not sure if I made a video about this or not, but I was not committing to myself, so then I couldn't commit to anyone else. I even got to a point in my life where I'd be working on things and I'd just stop and push them to the side and start something else. There'd be times where I'd have 5 different projects going on, and then shit would hit the fan and nothing would get done. And I'm talking about making rugs, sewing blankets, making clothes, whatever it was. I would start and just not give up, just put it to the side. And I realized that became a pattern in everything about me, my relationships, the way I handled myself, projects that I was working on, like I said. So this has been something that finally came up for me to go, oh, you've been breaking your own heart. You stinker. You've been doing it to yourself. And that is something hard to accept, but I'm glad that it is a lesson that has arisen, because now that I know that I wasn't committing to myself, I wasn't seeing my own value, I wasn't seeing the point in accepting me, knowing my value, not letting people come in and like, hey, cat call me. I got older and I was like, fuck that shit, that's for the birds. Don't be talking to me like that. You got a daughter somewhere? Would you want your daughter to be hollered at like that? Like, became a mom at some point. But like I said, I thought I need to share this with people, because if you're in relationships, and they don't have to be passionate relationships, every relationship, if people aren't coming to you the way that you feel they should be coming to you, you have to really start evaluating yourself. How do you treat yourself? Because that's how others are going to approach you. Because we are mirrors for one another. Call it a fun house. Some will make you love yourself. Some will make you hate yourself. Some will lie to you. Some will tell you the truth. It depends on what you're attracting at that time. Because we also have the ability to draw in maybe a lesson we need to learn. We have the ability to attract individuals that are similar to us so we can enjoy our time. There's different levels to this game called life. So if you find yourself, like I said, the world's not approaching you the way you feel you should be approached, one thing you can look at is, how do you approach yourself? Because like I said, I never realized I was over there like in a happy relationship, and then started thinking about someone else that I used to know, or meet someone new, and it was never with the intention of cheating on my partner. It was the what ifs, right? Because if you live in the world of what if, oh good Lord, you are going to drive yourself cuckoo, bananas, because it could have always ended up differently. It could have always started differently. There's things about you that a what if can start making you do this in life. And the more you do this in life, the further you're going to get away from that light, that direction, that guidance that you need to do. Because essentially this is a survival mechanism, right? I'm going to go back and I'm just going to sit there for a while and I'm just going to freeze. And it's funny because that's how I started treating my babies at where I work, because in the morning I have the toddlers and they don't listen for shit. They're a year and a half old. They don't really understand why they're even there. So I had to start saying, let's play a game, let's play a game. Okay, you go over there, and teaching them to line up, because this is what they're going to have to do in the world. And okay, now you come here, and then when I say freeze, you freeze. And that's kind of where you can put yourself, though. But it's not fun. You're not playing a game. You're stuck. And it is a game. It's just a vicious game. Because and I'm speaking from me and just saying you, because it's hard to get a message across if I'm just saying I, me, it's a lot of we. And some of us are accountable, some of us are not. If you listen to me, either you hold yourself accountable or you're trying to learn how to hold yourself accountable. And those are both great things to do in life. So instead of living in the what ifs and the backing up and how could I do that differently? Like I said yesterday, I want a do-over. No, you fucking don't. You want to unstick yourself. You want to be able to be open and honest with people. And I had said about a past relationship, they refused to be vulnerable with me. And my son made a comment the other night and said, Mom, you're just really guarded emotionally. And I looked at him like, shut your mouth. And then I started thinking about it like, maybe I have been. And I've taught my kids to be brutally honest, like their mother. And they are often the sounding board of sanity in my life, which is crazy because they're young. But you can always trust the truth will come out of a kid's mouth. Like one of the kids ran up to a teacher the other day and said, your legs are jiggly. And she said, that's offensive. But it's the fact that kids will tell you the truth. And we need more people that speak the truth. It's not always easy, no. And the more you speak the truth, the less friends you have. Yeah, ain't got no friends. I don't. And some of that's just a personal matter because people are soft. A lot of people I know are manipulative. A lot of people I know are users. And the more you find your value, you're not going to have a lot of people in your life. It's those people that are surrounded by friends that really have no worth. Because when those friends need to be called upon, you can't find them. They don't come to your aid, but they want you to come to theirs. It's an imbalance between give and take. And that's also where not realizing toxic patterns within yourself, so you can go, okay, hold up, now we gonna cut it out. There's more Uncle Joey. But we're gonna get to a point to where we're real with ourselves. Because when you can be real and honest with yourself, you better bet the world's gonna come at you and it's going to start appreciating you. Because it's easy to live in a land of liars and thieves, especially when everybody's a liar and a thief. If you're uncomfortable in this world, it's probably because you're meant to fit out, not fit in. And when you fit out, that's where you start becoming a leader. That's where you start helping guide, especially the new generation, to a direction in life that is more beneficial for the collective, for all of us. Because we can't keep going following the masses blindly into the soul's slaughterhouse. Because that's where we're going. The more that we sedate our consciousness and don't accept who we are as individuals, the more that we allow others to define us. Because everyone's always told me, oh, Sheena, you're so awesome. You're like a breath of fresh air. You're honest. You're telling me all these things, defining who I was to me. So by their definition, I thought I was those things. I did not realize I was entertaining a stage. I did not realize that was not the truth I held for myself. I was very guarded, but I knew how to put on a smile. I knew how to please people. I knew how to not allow them to see the hurt inside of me. And by not allowing them to see the hurt, they couldn't see the truth of the nature of who I was. And now I'm like, I share my hurt and pain with everybody. And it's funny, I was telling that story in the last video I made about the bad time with the devil. And that was the first time I have not cried. And I heard before that when you don't cry about your story anymore, you've healed from it. And I did have my eyes start getting hot for a second, but I was like, girl, we way past that. And I was okay. So I want you to understand that it hurts to tell yourself the truth. I understand this. But you will heal from the lies that you've told yourself. And the more that you can heal from the lies that you've told yourself, the more you can grow into the abundance that you deserve. The blessings, the gifts that you have within yourself will open up. And then you too can become someone that the world needs to look at instead of someone that the world is battling. Because at some point we can either be that flashlight, or we can be the one that's trying to drain the batteries so no one can see the truth in the nature of who that individual is. Most people want to silence the one that's shining the light on the devil. Why is that? Easy. Because the devil's the one that had the greatest trick in the world. Convinced you he never existed. So you have to ask yourself, are you functioning in a position in your life and doing in a way that you're convincing the world you're not a certain way? Or are you operating from your true, genuine nature of who you are? And best way to figure that out for yourself is to see how people meet you, how they approach you. Because the more you sit and gossip about certain people, or they do things that you can't stand, or you find all the flaws in them, you better at some point realize you're talking about yourself. I'll repeat that. The more you gossip and hate other people or jealous, you need to realize you are only talking about yourself. It's easy to look at the world and judge, but it doesn't matter what judgment you pass. The more judgment you place on others, the less judgment and evaluation you are placing on yourself. And at some point, it's time to turn the mirror around. Stop trying to think you're showing the world who they are, when in reality, if you'll open your eyes, they're already telling you who you are, what you need to work on. It's a hard lesson, but it's worth learning. So I'm going to leave it on that note, and hopefully that was good food for thought. Peace, love, and light. Bye-bye.